Yeah, yeah. So, you're in a storied company, lots and lots of legacy infrastructure, and you were like that at Sky as well. Um, so, undoubtedly, everyone is trying to modernize, refactor, move towards loosely coupled architectures. And so, we're seeing the resurgence, not the resurgence, but the rise of containers, and well, they've already risen, so there's no rise. They're there, and there's no more the emergence. And Kubernetes as the de facto infrastructure platform now. Um, and I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your experience. Of this is a very hard thing to kind of manifest. So maybe just talk about your experience of these such scenarios.
Yes, it's so as I was saying, actually, it's funny because I was still hands-on when containers and Dockers and all those things came about. And I have to say, I was really surprised because I didn't feel it was solving a lot of problems that I had encountered, at least in my career. Because clearly the challenge was the network most of the time, right? And the container is completely oblivious of any network concept, right? So it's true that when Kubernetes come around, it felt like, okay, now we are actually really wrestling with the problem, which sounded interesting. I have to say, one thing I'm amazed is I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Kubernetes has solved a lot of the problem, but probably has made it much more visible. So that's really something. But the complexity, I always think of the young kids that are joining our industry like this year, all the learnings they need to go through compared to what I had. Like when I was when I was an engineer at the beginning, we didn't test. we did, we barely documented. We didn't have. We were using CVS, so we got some form of source control. But now, you look at the CD pipeline. You look at how we test. You look at the architecture we have in production. We look at the concept of observability and its ramifications. It's like, and I don't know. Maybe in universities and engineering school, like I was in France, maybe they teach you a lot of this now. But the modernization of the stack is always a story of industrialization and commoditization, right? And so again, if you think you have, the lift and shift to the cloud, for instance, I think we need to say it more loudly, like, don't do this, right? And don't think the cloud is something that giving you velocity. It's supposed to give you acceleration, right? So everything you do there, the first question is, how am I commoditizing whatever stack I deliver into the cloud? Like, how can I make it repeatable, right? How can I make it self-service? So I go more in, maybe some people talk of NOPs, but you see what I mean? And I actually think that I've come to, if I were to start a company like Amazon, they were writing on the wall, like, work hard, have fun, make history. I think I would write something along the lines of, I mean, it's not really well formed in my mind, but it's like data first, your CD pipeline second, and then start thinking about delivering business value. And I think you see a theme here. I'm actually not that keen that we rush to business value. I think as engineers, we can't rush to the business value. It's much more, we need to be much more mindful about our tooling, our ecosystem before feeling ready for that. And so, I would actually start my modernization journey for my infrastructure with CD, right? That's the first thing I would do, actually. And the data element I mentioned in my three things would be like, maybe it's something as weird and loose as developer happiness on using my CD pipeline for provisioning stuff in the cloud, right? If you start there, I actually don't even care if you're the best in your class in terms of infrastructure knowledge and Kubernetes experience, etc., because I know you'll get in a good place. That's actually interestingly comes second.
No, it's a great question that I think intuitively we all have a sense that as human beings, when we're happier, we function better, faster, stronger. Uh, and so what is that correlation in an engineering setting is an interesting question.